everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, anything about movies. This is episode 52, and as the title suggests, the bulk of this review will be over the Dumb and Dumber 2 movie. I saw it yesterday, and, I got some stuff to say on it, but, so, not all good. I'm just going to give a little preview. Talk about some trailers, some news that came out, and then I'm also going to give a brief review of Foxcatcher, because you guys should definitely see that one. And, of course, box office results for the weekend, and then we'll wrap this thing up so you guys can go not be on the toilet while listening to this. All right, so the guest I have today, she is back. You guys all love her, and I do as well. That's why I keep inviting her back on. It's my lovely girlfriend, Emiline. Emiline, say hi to the peeps out there.
Hello.
Oh, she's here. She's here and ready to rumble because we both saw Dumb and Dumber 2 yesterday, and we are going to talk about it because we really love the original. We grew up with it. That's why I invited her on. Anyways, this episode is sponsored by CobraCoins.com. It is they specialize in creating fully customized coins for any occasion, and you can create something unique to call your own. You know, these coins are collected by video gamers and movie buffs everywhere. Seriously, you can put anything on it. Just ask. If you're a big Star Wars fan, and you want to put like the Millennium Falcon on there, just plop that thing on there. If you want to have like a Marvel superhero on it, go ahead. You want to have a quote from your favorite movie? Boom, slap it on there. It's trusted by many police departments around the nation, not to mention the U.S. Coast Guard, the Air Force, and even your neighborhood-friendly Walmart. Create your customized coin today at CobraCoins.com and receive a 10% off by mentioning my name, Chase Lee. CobraCoins.com, cold-blooded, high prices. See, every time I say that, I always want to say it in like the most like just hot prices, like making it like coins are like the sexiest thing ever, and they are. So visit the site. They are some cool cats. So hey, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into this because me and Emiline got a lot to talk about with Dumb and Dumber Dose. So some of the trailers that came out, I'm just going to touch on a few of them, and then I'm really going to rip on one of them. I think you'll know which one. The ones I'm going to talk about real quick are The Cobbler starring Adam Sandler. Listen, guys, if you've not seen Adam Sandler's dramatic work, try to do that, please. For love of everything that is holy, like, try to see his dramatic work. He is a fantastic dramatic actor, and you need to see those movies because he's good at comedy. He's good when he is good, but let's face it, he's been kind of going downhill lately. But this is more of like a dramatic, kind of like dramatic comedy role. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, I'll see it just for the sake of seeing it, but I like him in Punch Drunk Love. I like him in Reign Over Me. I liked him even in Men, Women, and Children from this year. So there's, The Cobbler is coming out. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Moving on, Insurgent is the sequel to Divergent, which came out this year, and the movie was okay. I didn't really care for it. I like Hunger Games myself more than the Divergent series. The coolest thing at that premiere is I had Miles Teller sign my Fantastic Four wallet on the Mr. Fantastic side. That was the highlight of my night. There was a new Mordecai trailer that came out. This is the one with Johnny Depp, and the movie looks like the Pink Panther, like the character of that, it's almost like he went to a really bad Mexican restaurant and he got food poisoning, and so the Pink Panther went to the bathroom and shit his brains out, and then pooped, and the poop was in the toilet, and it kind of formed into this character named Mordecai. Like that. That's what this trailer looks like. It looks like a Pink Panther it's just Johnny Depp, stop doing your kooky characters, okay? Like, listen, I don't mind.
That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at.
Yeah, and that's why he gets paid the shit tons of money for it. But I love What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I love Donnie Brasco. I love Blow. He is a fantastic actor. Like, he's getting into this zone where he's just like, hey, that was a terrible accent, but he's just stumbling around drunk on set, like in his Captain Jack Sparrow character, all the time. It just
he's prancy. I like how he's
prancy. That's the best way to describe him. He's getting married to one of the most beautiful women in the world, and He's described as prancy. Whoops. Okay, so those are the trailers that came out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so a new trailer to the 50 Shades of Grey came out.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no whoop whoop in this house. Okay, take that out of the house and go bury it in the backyard. Now, Emiline, I'll let you go first. And you saw the trailer. What did you think of this masterpiece of film?
It got me wanting to see more.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. There's always been like a fascination with BDSM and like what it's all about and everything. And so like to finally have a movie that's fairly popular with the female population and it's coming out, like, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I want to see it just to see what it's about. But as far as like the chemistry, I've heard that there's not so much chemistry between them. And I think it's like so. I mean, there could have been more for sure, but it's not like completely nothing, I don't think. So.
Okay. Well, as much as I respect your opinion, I'm about to tear this thing a new butthole. So the next time it poops all over everything, it's going to be spraying everywhere like a broken hose. All right, so here's the thing. 50 Shades of Grey. Do you guys remember when the book came out? I remember when it came out because, it was pretty big. Everyone was talking about it. And there was a lot of, 50-year-old housewives that haven't been touched by their husbands in months. And so they're just like, oh, man, I really need to get my rocks off. So I'm going to go buy this book that has a tie on it. This looks really cool. It looks like a nice piece of erotica. That's nice. I read bits and pieces of it. It's trash. I'm just straight up. It is trashy writing. It's trashy. Like, I can write better erotica than that. It reeks of, some high school, chick trying to attempt to write a novel. No. And so when they made it into a movie, I was like, I'll see how it looks in the first trailer. Because here's the thing. Me and Emiline were having a discussion the other day, and I told her that some of the best, erotic films they're just good. Like, Basic Instinct. One of the most popular ones from the 90s. I love that movie. Because it's such a great, erotic thriller. And so you can have, a sexy movie. You just need to bring the sexy with it. Now, listen. I'm
bringing sexy back. What?
No, they're not bringing sexy back. They're bringing sexy from, the 1920s, and they're just, trying to make it sexy. Not to say anyone from the 1920s wasn't sexy, because I wasn't alive back then. I'm just saying, you probably have
flappers, right?
I'm just saying they probably dressed in bed sheets and they called that sexy. All right, so 50 Shades of Grey. Here's the thing: if you want to make a movie about this, that's fine, but have your two lead actors good looking. Have them good looking and have it sexy. Now, listen: when you watch the trailer, you want it to ooze of sex and you want it to ooze of steam, and you want your computer to be dripping sweat and bodily fluids all over the place because the trailer was just so hot, it gets you bothered and you want to go see it. The thing is, this trailer does not do that. It's hey, it's like saying hi to your limp penis. Hi, limp penis, can you raise up for me? No, I can't because you fucking suck. And that's how my penis sounds. It sounds like a gruff trucker that just drank way too much alcohol in his youth. So, yeah, so, listen.
What?
Just hear me out. If it was sexy, if the trailer was sexy and the actors, listen, without a doubt, the actors are good looking, but they're not they don't reek of sex appeal. They just reek of oh, we got these attractive people and they're just gonna be thrown into a movie. And I didn't find that in this trailer, nor did I find it in the first trailer. It doesn't have that appeal, and so I'm probably going to go see it because I work for a website and I get sent to these movies all the time. So I probably go see it, and I'm sure Emiline would like to join me so she can see some male butt. But it just
it's on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I guess I guess if that's what the woman wants, I will take you to it because let's face it, I take Emiline to a lot of movies that she doesn't really enjoy. So it's kind of like payback. It's almost like she... Yeah, Birdman. She didn't like Birdman. But, like, it's almost like she's saving up this opportunity for me to just take her to every movie that she doesn't like, just so she can be like, well, you've taken me to 25 movies last year that I didn't really like, so you're going to sit through 50 Shades of Grey. And I'll be like, fuck, that's fair enough. So, 50 Shades of Grey, good luck, I guess. I'm actually curious to see how much it actually makes. Because I was telling Emiline that the longer this movie takes to come out, the less of the appeal the book has. And because, strike while the iron's hot. When this book hit, it fucking hit. You should have made a movie literally the next week on it. But the more time passes, the more people kind of lose interest on it. So I'm actually curious to see how it does opening weekend. I'm sure it'll hit big with the female crowd.
Well, yeah. Because, I mean, you have to think about it this way. Guys are more visual in their attraction, whereas females, I think they tend to probably get more out of reading and thinking about, the certain things instead of actually seeing it. Like, they get their rocks off just listening to it or reading it versus watching it.
Believe it or not, I think she's actually right. Because think about it.
That's why females like the book so much. But now that they're making a movie, it might not be as good for some of them.
Well, see, that makes sense because how many guys have you met that said, yeah, I've read an erotica book? Next to none.
Right.
Yeah, so I can't argue with that. You're right, and that's why it'll succeed, because women have that fantasy and they want to see it being portrayed. So there you go. Those are the trailers for this week, guys. Comment in that place to upload my voice and let me know what you thought of the trailers, including Paul Blart Shit Cop 2, and then 50 Shades of Grey, because those were obviously the best ones. Moving on to the news, I have a couple stories I just want to touch on just really quick, because these are obvious, awesome pieces. Well, not the last one, but the first one, Daniel Bruhl. You guys remember him? He was in Rush from last year, and he played the actor alongside with Chris Hemsworth. And I thought he was really great in the movie. He's being reported to be cast in a, quote, villain, unquote, role in Marvel's Civil War. I'm ecstatic for that. Are you kidding me? I have nothing more to say about it. I think Daniel Bruhl really brought something to Rush that I sat back and I was like, man, he literally could be nominated for an Oscar. Like, when I saw it in theaters at that time, I was like, he's got a chance. Like, he was so good in this film. So I'm excited to see him kind of tap into a different role, especially in a superhero movie. So I'm all for it. Second piece of news is that Margot Robbie from The Wolf of Wall Street is going to play Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad film. Yes. Listen, you guys all know, if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, you remember that scene when Margot Robbie comes out fully nude and Leo DiCaprio is just like ogling her, and they go to town after that. She, beyond her attractiveness, she actually is a great actress. I actually liked her in Wolf of Wall Street. The thing is, I want to see her in more stuff. I want to see her kind of expand her filmography, and I think with her being in Harley Quinn, that is a psychotic character. Like, I don't read much on the comics, but from what I know, like, she's a psychiatrist, and she's Joker's psychiatrist. She herself becomes fucking crazy because of the Joker. That's awesome. So, Harley Quinn's a very fantastic character to explore, especially psychologically. So, I'm okay with Margot Robbie being Harley Quinn. And if you put makeup on her and stuff, she got the face for it, she got the hair for it. Like, she looks like Harley Quinn. So, I'm actually okay with that casting. I want to see her kind of expand into this industry, because for one of your first big hit roles and you're in a Martin Scorsese movie and it's with Leo DiCaprio, that's a big achievement. So, try to expand yourself and you will do just fine. The last piece of news is that Quentin Tarantino basically came out and said, I'm going to retire my 10th film because I don't want to, he said the director is a young man's game. He doesn't want to tire himself out, and he doesn't want to pump out crap after a long period of time. Quentin Tarantino, if you ever get robbed in your house and someone is holding you down with a gun to your mouth hole and they say, listen to Real Man Colon and Movie Podcast or you're going to die, and you're listening to this, don't retire, dude. Like, you've gotten better as you've gone on. Like, you've made Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs, Django, Inglourious Bastards. Like, you made some of the greatest, like, just fun, entertaining movies that are well written, well acted, and they're just so much fun to watch. And I love Django so much, and I love Inglourious Bastards. Like Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Reservoir Dogs, what have you. But after Bastards came out, he became like this different director almost. Like, it was fantastic. So, you know, he's doing The Hateful Eight, which comes out next year, and this is going to be his 8th film. So if he wants to do this, he's only got 2 more in him. You know, if he does that, that's fine, but I don't think he will. I think he'll be in the film industry in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if he'll be just producing or directing, but he will be in there. Trust me. And Mr. Tarantino, please don't quit. Like, you're an amazing filmmaker. So, yeah, that's the pieces of news, guys. It was kind of a slow news week. I mean, there was a lot of pieces of news, but before I start this thing, I usually kind of pick and choose, like, the best ones to talk about, and those were the ones that intrigued me. So, those are the pieces of news for this week. We've hit the halfway point in this podcast, which means getting to the meat of the podcast, which is the title of the podcast, which is the Dumb and Dumber 2 movie review. Now, let's give a little backstory on this. It's written and directed by the Farrelly brothers, Peter and Bobby Farrelly, and in 1994 they came out with Dumb and Dumber. And after that, they came out with There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene. And then after that, I think after Me, Myself, and Irene, I think that's when they really started to slope. I really liked Stuck on You. I think that's a pretty fair comedy coming out of their wheelhouse. I didn't like Fever Pitch. I disliked Movie 43. I hated that with a passion. What else have they done? Hall Pass. Listen, I own Hall Pass because I bought it for like $2, but like I like Sudeikis. I like Jason Sudeikis. That's one of the reasons why I picked it up, and he kind of saves the movie for me. But it's just okay. So, Dumb and Dumber. Listen, I was born in 1990. Dumb and Dumber came out when I was 4 years old. Obviously, I didn't watch it when I was 4 because then I probably would have been more scarred than I am now. I watched it when I was more like, I'd say 8, 9, or 10. And so, after I got done watching the first time, I sat there and I literally said to myself, like, this is one of the best comedies I've ever seen. And if you watch it to this day and you replay that movie, it's got replay value. It's got quotable lines. It's got a lot of funny moments. Like, it's one of those comedies that sticks with you. And so, you know, it comes out in 1994, and this is when Jim Carrey did The Mask and Ace Ventura all in the same year. He came out with us with a three-peat in the same year. That's amazing. And they were all great movies. So how does it compare to the first one? 20 years later, mind you. They did come out with a prequel, and the prequel was terrible. So, you know, you're coming off of that. But I'll save myself. I'll let Emiline take this one first. Emiline, what did you like about the movie?
I mean, I liked how it interwove some of the stuff from the previous movie, or the original, I guess. I don't know, like, just different sayings and stuff. You know how you picked up on them from the original movie? It's kind of like that with the second movie, but I almost feel like the first movie, the original, was so much better on that. Like, you could retain all the funny sayings and stuff more so than the second one. I remember hearing like a couple funny lines, and I'm like, oh, I gotta remember this for later. You know, we can talk about it and be goofy by saying some of the things, but I honestly, by the end of the movie, I could not remember much of anything as far as like the sayings. So I thought that was kind of disappointing. I mean, I almost feel like I need to watch it again just to pick up on those, but they had like good chemistry between the two again, but it didn't live up to the first one, the original, at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is really tough. It's almost like you have like this. I don't know. It's almost like you had this son or like daughter, and like they were so good in their prime, and like you're very proud of them. They've accomplished a lot in life, and then they went down this like drug abusive path, and then like 20 years later they decided to come back to your doorsteps after you told them to fuck off because they started doing drugs. I know I'm being really harsh on it, but I gotta be honest with you. Like, Dumb and Dumber is it's my favorite comedy in my lifetime. Now listen, I love Mel Brooks. I love 80s comedies. I love 70s comedies. And hell, I even love comedies from the 1920s. I love the Marx Brothers. I love Charlie Chaplin. But I like to group it as like, what did I grow up with in my lifetime? Because that's what affected me the most. Is movies that came out while I was growing up and how they affected me and all that stuff. So that's why I count Dumb and Dumber as my favorite comedy, because it came out when during my lifespan right now. And so that's why I think it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And so going into this, I had high expectations, and I gotta tell you, I didn't really care for it. But I'm not gonna say I hated it. I'm not gonna say I loved it either. I'm kind of in the middle. It was kind of like a lukewarm movie. Some of the jokes hit, and when they hit, I liked it. I was like, okay, I really dug that. But there was a lot of misses, and it's almost like it was being forced, and like they were trying so hard to be these characters, and I think that's what disappointed me the most. And I like their chemistry, like what Emiline said, but it comes down. Listen, when you see a comedy, it comes down to how funny is it, and what's the writing like. I didn't really dig the writing. I thought some of the jokes from the first one, like they used like basically verbatim some of the jokes from the first one. Some of them were fine, just as a nice like nostalgic reference, but for the most part, I didn't really care for it. And then, like I said, the humor was like, it was like a hit and miss type thing, like 50%. So I don't know. It's really tough to say. It's like I said, it's almost like kicking your only kid out after they went to rehab and stuff. And so I don't know.
I think most of the funny parts were shown in the preview or the trailer, and that kind of ruined it. I mean, the rest of the movie is just like, okay, what else is there?
But even that, like even as I was watching the trailers, I still didn't find it funny. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I found it like I kind of smiled a little bit, but I wasn't like, holy shit, I gotta go take a piss. Like I wasn't like so far into those trailers where I was like, oh man, I'm super excited. I was still excited because it's the sequel to one of my favorite comedies in my lifetime. But it just super disappointing, like you said. Like the first one is by a mile extremely better than the second one. But like I'm gonna say, it's not terrible, but it's also not good either. It's just kind of in the middle. It's like an entertaining movie you watch because you like watching these characters. The characters are good. Like Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels playing Lloyd and Harry. I like seeing those characters, and they're good at playing those characters. It's just the material they had to work with. It just wasn't as punchy as the first one. And Emiline, we were talking about this yesterday, and like I seriously think the internet had something to do with it. Because think about it. The first one came out in 1994. The internet was like basically nothing at that time. Internet hits big in like 1999, 2000. That's when it starts to like really rise. YouTube started, I think, in 2005. Kids nowadays, and including myself, I've been caught doing this numerous times when I'm bored, is we're on YouTube and watch stupid videos, and sometimes like there's comedy shows on there that have better quality than movies nowadays. And I think with the saturation of the internet and YouTube for like the past like 7 or 8 years, and that 20-year gap between the first one, I think I honestly think that's what killed it. Because when you're watching these jokes, you're like, you know that they're there, but it just doesn't hit, and it's like, oh wow, like
We're becoming immune to it.
yeah, we're becoming immune to like dumb humor because that's what boggles my mind is that the first one is so fucking good. It's so much fun, and it's so enjoyable and hilarious to watch these two stupid characters just go throughout the movie. But it's like when you watch the sequel, like you know it's there, but like it just doesn't hit you. Like that's what's just weird about it to me. And the internet killed this movie, and I mean, there's nothing really more I can say about it that I liked. I mean, I liked Rob Riggle. I think Rob Riggle's character was kind of cool. I thought the cameos were pretty cool.
Jennifer Lawrence was.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence was supposed to be in the movie, and I was sitting there the entire time going, "All right, where's she at? Where's she at?" Because I remember last year when they were filming this thing, Hunger Games was like shooting like down the road or something from it, and so Jennifer Lawrence went over to the set and asked if she could be in it. I think they put her in it, and correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments if like they took her part out or whatever. But that's the last thing I heard was that she wanted to be in it. She's not in it unless she's in an after credits scene and we didn't stay until the very end, so that could have been our fault. But as of right now, she was not in the movie. But yeah, like I said, lovable characters, lovable stupid characters. The actors, you know, they come to play. Jim Carrey is 54 years old. Jeff Daniels is 59. So these guys are old as fuck, and they're still playing these characters very well. It's just the material they had to work with was just a very splotty script, you know, very hit and miss. And I think what's really funny is like Jeff Daniels won the Emmy for his role in the newsroom, and then literally the next day he went onto the set of Dumb and Dumber. So I bet Aaron Sorkin was like, "Oh God." So I like for me like, you were gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just saying. No, as far as like the girl that played the daughter.
Okay, I'll let you put your 2 cents, and I'll explain why I didn't like it.
Well, I don't know. Okay, I found a giggle, and it just reminded me of her. Listen. It just... It's such a dumb laugh.
Oh, that dumb laugh? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she had a weird, like, laugh or something, and she just, I don't know.
If you guys couldn't hear it, she played a clip of, like, some really, like, dumb laugh, and, like, that's what her... Listen, the daughter in the movie, her character's very stupid. But here's the thing. Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey make it work. They make stupid and dumb very likable. Her character, she's flat out a ditz. And, like, she was terrible. I didn't like it. Like, I was like, you couldn't find that striking balance between, like, dumb and, like likable. Like, you were just a straight up ditz, and I didn't like you. And so, yeah, the daughter in the movie, I really despised. And so, that's all I can really say about it. It's still a fun, enjoyable, good time. I still enjoyed it for the most part, even though a lot of it was a miss. I love Jim Carrey. I love Jeff Daniels. I love them coming back to do this role. I loved just having a good time with these guys, because that's what you go to the movies for, especially with this movie. So for me, lukewarm, 5 out of 10. That's just me, though. I still love the first one. It still does not tarnish my thoughts on the first. So, Emiline, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
I'd say maybe 6 or so. I mean, it wasn't a complete loss, but it wasn't all the best either.
Yeah, like, we pretty much have the same consensus. It's just, it was enjoyable, but just wasn't all there. So, that's our thoughts on Dumb and Dumber 2. To where? I don't know. I love the title, by the way. I still love the title. It's probably my favorite part of the movie is the title, Dumb and Dumber T.O. So, yeah, that's our thoughts. What did you guys think of Dumb and Dumber 2? Comment in that place to rub below my voice and let me know. I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on Foxcatcher. If you want to see me go more in depth, because I fanboy out on this movie, you can go to my YouTube page and you can check out the review there. Yeah, so Foxcatcher, It's definitely one of my favorites of the year for sure. I don't even know where to begin on this. Let me just go down my usual grading criteria, and I'll give you a score. So the directing. This movie is directed by Bennett Miller, who also directed Capote with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Moneyball starring Brad Pitt. And both those are excellent movies. So going into this, I was like super pumped about this movie. And so I was really looking forward to it. And when I got out of the movie, I was like, holy shit. That was fantastic. It was like a great slow burn, and I loved Bennett Miller's like directing style on it, because he was so his editing was very, very steady and very just slow. Like he wanted you to let these characters kind of like get inside you and like really just like creep you out. And so I really love the directing on this, because he takes all of these actors to a whole nother level, and it's just an amazing wonder to watch on screen. I love the tone of it. It's just, like I said, it's really creepy. It's almost like a horror movie, and it's a fascinating story on Mark Schultz and Dave Schultz, who are two wrestlers, and they've gone to the Olympics. They've won gold. And Mark Schultz, played by Channing Tatum, he goes to John DuPont, which is like a really rich guy in America, played by Steve Carell. And Steve Carell basically trains him to become a really good wrestler. And just the story and the characters alone are super fascinating. And Bennett Miller was at the screening I was at. He did a lot of research for this film, and you can really tell, like, I felt like we kind of we were like cameramen behind the scenes of the story as it was playing. It was kind of cool, like peeking behind the curtain of this event, and the directing is just super solid. I would not be surprised if he was nominated for a Best Director Oscar nomination. So, the acting. Whew. Wow. Let me just put it this way. A lot of people are praising about Steve Carell. Without a doubt, he does one of the best dramatic roles of his career. Now, he's done plenty of dramatic roles way before he did comedy, but this is without a doubt the best one. He actually sunk into this character. Like, he lost himself. He was completely transformed into John DuPont. Mark Ruffalo does an excellent job in this film. But my favorite is Channing Tatum. Listen, I've given that guy shit in the past because he always started in the Nicholas Sparks rom-coms like Dear John and the step-up movies. But then he started doing 21 Jump Street. And he found his groove with comedy. Then he started working with Soderbergh Steven Soderbergh. He did Magic Mike. He did Side Effects. He did Haywire. And he started doing more of, like, you know, these personable movies, and Foxcatcher is one of them. This guy has got some severe acting range that you cannot gloss over. Like, his character arc in the movie is fantastic. It is, like, absolutely perfect. And I loved everything about his performance. I loved everything about his character. He was lost. Like, he really wanted to be apart from his brother's fame, and he wanted to become his own thing. He wanted to become the best wrestler he could be. He was very determined. He was that type of athlete. And he takes his character to a whole nother level. It was amazing to watch. And, you know, John DuPont, Steve Carell's character, it's really strange because he's really rich, and he just wants acceptance. That's what I find really strange, is that he wants acceptance from his mother. And so he finds wrestling as that type of thing to where, like, he feels like he fits in. He doesn't really have any experience in wrestling, and he's not really certified to be a coach, but he just wants to be a part of this organization and these group of people that can look up to him to please his mom. And, like, it just fascinates me because you're so rich and you're so wealthy that you're so broken inside. Like, you know, it just speaks a lot in terms of wealth and people's money and stuff. And, you know, Mark Ruffalo's character, he's the older brother of Channing Tatum. You know, he's like the wiser older brother. Channing Tatum looks up to him, and then he loses his way in the middle of the movie. And then it comes down to this conclusion at the very end that's just blows you away. So the acting is outstanding. I know I harped on the acting a lot, but the directing and the acting are what you see this movie for, especially all you film buffs out there and wrestling fans. If you're a fan of wrestling, I think you'll really like this. The cinematography is beautiful. Oh, I loved it, especially on John DuPont's ranch and his mansion and stuff. Like you have these nice wide shots, and it's just beautiful with the scenery and the landscape. All the wrestling matches are shot really well. They're lit very well, very gritty and dark. I love the cinematography. The editing, this is where I can see where it kind of irks people, but I didn't find a problem with it. The movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. It is an extreme slow burn, and by that, I mean it feels like it's going to drag. There was a part in the middle where I kind of felt it a little bit, but I was still intrigued in what was happening on screen. I didn't really mind it that much. And Bennett Miller was at the screening, and he actually asked us in the audience, he's like, be honest, was it too long? And there was a couple people that said it was too long, and he said the original cut was over 4 hours long. Wow. Like, you thought 2 hours and 15 minutes was slow? Try fucking 4 hours. I love the music. It was very creepy. The whole tone was very creepy. It was very great character study. The acting was off the charts. It was shot well. Overall, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason I'm going to give it a docket 0.5 points is the pacing. It does kind of drag in the middle, like I said, but it picks up. But overall, it's one of my favorite movies of the year. Definitely top 10 worthy. It's a near perfect movie. I love it to death, and I think it's the most fascinating story and interesting character study from the movies that Bennett Miller has done. That's just my opinion, though. So have you seen Foxcatcher, or have you even heard of it? Comment in the place to rub on my face to let me know. And moving on to box office results to tidy this podcast up. All right, so Emiline is going to guess the top 5 box office, starting with 5 going on up. And Emiline, let's see if you can get all this correctamundo. So what is number 5?
Well, I put Beyond the Lights as number 5. And Gone Girl is number 4. Interstellar 3. Dumb and Dumber 2 for 2. And Big Hero 6 1.
I will tell you that you got one right.
Oh, great.
You mixed up 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. And I was like, oh man, like I thought you were gonna get it. Okay, so let's break this down. Number 5, Gone Girl. This thing is a beast. Like, it came out in the first week of October. We saw it together. That was a long time ago, and it's still trucking in the top 5. It number 5 was $4.6 million on a budget of $60, and domestic it's got $152, and worldwide it's got $318. Holy shit, this thing's making money. I'm beyond happy for it because I really liked it. Emiline liked it. If you haven't seen Gone Girl, what are you doing? Like, that thing's old by now, so go see it. Number 4, Beyond the Lights. I don't know much about the movie. Whatever. It came forth with $6.5 million on a budget that is unlisted, so I can't really tell you or compare it to anything. Number 3 is Interstellar, and it came out with $29 million for this week, and it's the second week run, and its budget is $165. Domestic, it's got $97, and worldwide, it's got $321. So it actually, what's 165 times 2? It's what, $330? So shit, it's almost about to break even. So I'm totally okay with that because I still liked it as a whole. It's a fantastic movie. I think everyone should check it out. Number 2 is Big Hero 6 with $36 million. Its budget was $165, and domestic it's got $111. Worldwide it's got $148. It's got a long way to go to break even. And number 1, Dumb and Dumber 2 with $38 million. Holy crap, that's awesome. If you're hearing the Skype call going off in the background, Emiline got disconnected. I'm gonna try to bring her back on. But Dumb and Dumber 2 got 38 million, and that's astounding. I did not expect it to get this much on opening weekend, but that just shows you the power of that film and the fan base that it has. And so, Dumb and Dumber 2 with 38 million, that's fantastic. So, a very interesting top 5. I did not expect Beyond the Lights to be number 4. So, yeah, it's just an interesting top 5. So, I guess I can't bring Emiline back on. Skype is always fucking up with us. So, that will do it for this week's episode, guys, of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. This week's episode, we had some trailer and news stuff to cover. We had our Dumb and Dumber 2 review, and we had our my Foxcatcher review and box office results for the weekend. If you guys want to comment on any of the stories or the movies that I talked about today, or what Emiline talked about, comment on the place where I'll be on my voice and let me know. If you guys want to follow me on Spreaker here, you can just click that follow button, and we'll get updates on live podcast and when I upload these things. If you guys want to follow me on iHeartRadio, I'm also on there too. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter to get updates on live shows and when I post these things and whatever stupid shit I post, it's at Real Chase Lee, REEL Chase Lee. All one word. And then if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, give that page a like, and you'll get updates on live podcasts, movie reviews, anything I just want to post about movies. And so that's facebook.com/Real Reviews with Chase Lee. YouTube, I post movie reviews, the podcast, short films, web series. There's so much shit on there. You guys can definitely watch all that in like 30 seconds after you realize you made a huge mistake. So that's youtube.com/Shabutnik75, capital S, lowercase HABOOTNIK 75. And that's for YouTube. I think that's all the social media stuff. So, since Emiline is not here, I was going to tell her to say goodbye to you guys, but the internet's kind of wonky between us, but that's okay. I will make sure that she, I don't know. I'll just say goodbye for her. Emiline does like coming on here, so give her your love, guys, and because she likes coming on these things. So yeah, that will do it for this week. If next week, let's see, Hunger Games comes out. Yeah, so I might actually have a Mockingjay Part 1 review next week on another episode, which is episode 53. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. I want you guys to have a good day, a good night. If you're listening to us at like some odd hours at like 2:30 in the morning while taking a shit, it's okay. We can still be friends. But, you know, I just won't, I might not shake your hand or anything because you know what you did. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for joining me on another episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. I'm Chase Lee. I will see you guys later. Have a good night, good day. Just spread this thing like wildfire. Let's show the internet that this podcast isn't all bad. Okay, bye.